Hi and welcome to another Wednesday with Wilna. And today I have a little surprise for you. So on iHeartStudio you can go and download all the images for this album that we're going to make in today's video for free. I'm making it a free download, and it's just to say a big huge thank you to everyone that's been just so kind and considerate to me, supporting me in everything that I do. And yeah, here's a little preview of what we're going to make. So of course you can make it with me, and that's my first preference. But if you don't want to, you can go to iHeartStudio and download the free coffee cup album PDFs and print them out and quickly make a little layout. So I'm going to show you basically how I created these pages, and I'm using tube watercolors, and I'm using red that I'm going to be mixing in with white. Actually is rose, and yellow and orange. So mixing in the white with the red or the rose color, and beautiful pink. And now I'm just going to add a tiny touch of yellow, and that will give it a more of a coral color, which is going to be lovely. And now I'm just going to paint. So in the downloads, the free downloads, you'll find a cut file for this exact size, the shape of the little pages, and I just used my silhouette and a watercolor paper, and I just cut it out. And this is the easiest for me. I'm so lazy with my silhouette to do any cutting with my hand, and now I'm just playing, and this is so much fun. You have to do this, so much fun. But I would actually suggest that you don't paint on watercolor paper, because your album is going to be too thick. So maybe just a cardstock and go a little lighter on the water, but it's up to you. You know what, it's totally up to you. If you want to make the little mini album like I'm doing here by painting and playing with me, then I have a little bundle on iHeartStudio available that you can buy, with all the florals is separate, the frames are separate, the words are separate, and everything. So I started off with pink, and I dried it with my embossing tool, because today's Wednesday, right? And I woke up this morning and I just said, I have to get this done today. So I was working very focused, and I had a lot of meetings happening as well. So it was just super busy. So I had to dry it with my embossing tool. And now I'm playing with orange, and I don't know if you can see here, but I'm touching the paper so ever lightly with the brush. It's a very light touch, and just adding a little bit of color here and there. It's almost like making a art journaling page. That's how much fun it is. And really, the paint splatters is my favorite thing lately. Tapping it over my finger, I just absolutely love doing it. So I'm going to do the orange now, and then I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. Basically just going to be playing with fall colors. So that is just how wonderful it's going to be. But I want it to be really fun and fresh colors. That's always a big thing for me. If you follow me on YouTube a lot and have watched some of my art journaling videos, then you'll understand what I'm saying here. So a little bit of touch of yellow, and you can see I'm following my lazy streak here and working on all 6 little pages all at once. And this is really, I think, clever. It's not necessarily lazy. I think let's call it clever, right? So yeah, just painting and oh man, this is so much fun. And did you see the Instagram image that I posted on Instagram? And I just love that little image. The colors are just coming together so wonderfully. The pink and orange was inspired by the layout that I did for last Wednesday, and I just think that pink and orange should be the new fall colors. Let's do that officially. So here, this is dry, and now I'm just going to add a stamp with hearts here and there, just here and there, and and that the black pop just makes it pop a tiny bit, and it just gives it a little bit of a definition and a contrast, and I just like that. When I digitalize my papers, I'll show you in a second how they compare the printed one versus the originals. I actually wanted it a little bit softer because I knew I was going to add some florals and things, so I didn't want it to be too bright. Right, so this is something that you've seen on another Wednesday with Wilna video. This template, we've used it before, and I'm just using a little bit of molding paste to spread it over, and you can see, just to mute the colors tiny bit, add that interesting layer to it. Very, very fun, very easy, just placing it down. You can find this template in my full bundle, so if you bought the full bundle, then you'll find it there. So just here and there, you can see I'm not covering the whole little page, just a tiny bit here and there. So this album came about, I probably should have said this right from the get-go, right? I know my mind is all over the place today. So Kirsten and I were getting Starbucks the other day, and they have the most beautiful fall cups out, and she's like, Mom, why don't you make another fall album with the Starbucks cup? And I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're probably right, I should do it. And then this cup, that it was so beautiful, just inspired me. So here you can see, okay, guess what, one is printed and one is the originals. You know, there you can see at the bottom, the right one is the original and the left one is the printed one. And there you can see, so the printed one is a little muted. You can, my print quality was on normal, so you can print it probably a better quality than I'm going to, that I did. These are little frames that you can buy in the coffee cup bundle on iHeartStudio. They're just little full frames, and I also made some new florals especially for this coffee cup, so you can get those as well. So to finish it off, I also took apart a floral, well, not a floral, some autumn leaves that I bought at Michael's. You can see them at the left bottom corner. And I just bought a little bundle of the leaves, so I took them apart, and I'm going to be using them just to make it a really interesting page. Every single page going to be interesting, and I want this combination of flowers and leaves and woods and frames, and that was my whole idea for this album. Just seeing that my day has run out on me, and I really want to go to yoga tonight. I'm going to play some music to show you how I finished this. So listen to this. It's music that I got off YouTube actually. So this means that I can still monetize the video and play music. And you know what? It's not rocket science what I'm doing. You can just have a look at my process here and enjoy the music, and then I'll pick it up right at the end or towards the end. Right, so I'm almost done with this. You can see how I added the photos behind the frames, and I cheat a lot. A little bit of hot glue here and there, but don't tell anyone. It's just our secret. And next up, I want to show you how we're going to make our cover. So I've done this a couple of times on videos, but here it is. So you take your cup, you punch it from inside out like that with your hand, and then use a pointy thing, make a little hole, and then just start to tear it out. So I don't know if you can see it, but and then roll up the rim, something that the Canadians can do very well, and then push it down, and then I'm going to just cut it. But you don't want to cut that bottom part off, and you don't want to cut that top part off. It's part of the charm. So I'm just going to use a ruler and just score the side, and then take a scissors. Take scissors. Sorry, I's and R in the wrong place. So still, people, English is not my first language. So yeah, and just cut it open. There you go. And now we're going to make a little template to fit the inside of the album. Right, so I have a piece of chipboard, and what you want to do is you just want to put the half of your cup down and then just trace it, and then you want to do the same with the other side, and then you're just going to cut it out. And this is really a custom thing, you know. Not two cups are the same. I don't know, for some reason, well, they probably are, but you're gonna have to customize it, for your album. So I'm just going to cut it with my cutter on my self-healing mat, which is not on this table. And you can also see that I use some newsprint to cover my work space here. So I just cut it out. You can see I cut it out a tiny bit smaller than the black markings, because I don't want the chipboard to show. So right now, okay, so I'm going to cut it still smaller, and you can see that it's broader at the top, that little strip, and smaller at the bottom. And if you look at the little album at the top of the screen, you can see the spine is made of a little piece of chipboard that is broader at the top and smaller at the bottom. There you can see the same thing. Just add it with a tiny bit of hot glue and make sure that it's right in the middle. So the center of that strip that I just adhered should match the center of the cup. And now you just place a piece of chipboard on that side, and then you do exactly the same on the other side. Right, here you can see it, and now you have a little spine. See? That's so cute. And you're going to adhere your pages to that. So I'm going to paint them, both of them, really quick, and then I'm going to pick which one I like the best. So I'm using the pink and the orange. So I'm starting with pink, and just a little light touch. You can see I'm trying to keep the little images on the cup as much as possible. I don't want to paint over them necessarily, just keep them. And here's some music while I'm painting. Right, so here you can see my idea. I printed off one of those flowers, just a tiny bit bigger, and I have one of the leaves, one of the fake leaves, and now I'm just going to paint a tiny bit with gesso. So my idea here is to still have it transparent enough so that the imagery shine through, but to push it back a tiny bit because it just was a little bit too busy for me. So I'm just going to adhere my leaf with hot glue and then the flower as well. So if you, oh, and a piece of ribbon that was actually just lying there. So I thought, wow, it's orange and it's perfect. So yeah, that's going to be beautiful. So that's the front of your album. You can stamp, you can write words. It's totally up to you. I think it can be so pretty. I mean, there's so many ways to make it pretty. It's actually what I really wanted to say. So I'm just painting a tiny bit of white, just making it a little bit quieter here. But I love this Starbucks cup. And I'm so thankful for Starbucks that makes such beautiful cups so that we can make coffee cup albums with them, right? Okay, so once that's dry, now I'm going to show you how we are going to adhere the insides of our album, and this is actually a very specific way to do it. Okay, so important is that you fold your little pages and then you want to adhere one side at a time. So I'm putting my adhesive on one side and then I'm adhering the other side to it. And then I'm folding it over like that and then putting adhesive on the one side and then adding the other side and folding it over. And you know what, this way I found is the easiest way to adhere these little pages without having trouble. It's the easiest way. So that goes on the back. So one of them you're going to have to cut up. And I actually like the leaves that's sticking out, you know. And then, and you know what, I don't know entirely if I did it right, but like I said, I was just in such a working mode today. I didn't think properly, but I adhered them all in one. So, and then I used my sewing machine and I just stitched it to the middle of, you can see there, and I just stitched it to the middle of the spine. Now, a word here, I think it would be way better if you take like a thick needle or something and just make like 5 or 6 holes down the middle through the spine, and then just take some thread with your hand and just sew it with your hand. My machine, I wasn't super happy with it, the way that it adhered it. So yeah, I think I would have done way better if I just took the time, just quickly did it by hand. That would have been awesome, because then you know it's down, and you know what, some pink thread or yellow thread or orange thread would be so beautiful. So I just took my machine and I just threaded through. But of course, what's that saying that says if you want to go faster, go slower? Yeah, I had to remind myself about that right about now. So, and my needle broke while I was doing this, so this is super annoying. But yeah, in the end, you know what, at least the album is adhered. But listen to me, people. Take a needle thread and do it yourself. I think it would be better. Take a awl, make a little hole, and stitch it through. So there you can see the little album is all done. You know what? I did not have time to do any sentimental writing on it. Oh, but I did have time to pretty up the insides. And this is a beautiful polka dot paper that you can find on scrapbook.com. I'll have the link. in the description or in the related products. And now I just going to adhere it and then cut it shorter. Make sure you don't cut your ribbon. And I'm going to adhere it to the front and the back. And it's so cute. The polka dots are adorable. Right, and I'm just going to show you the album. Here's a quick walk through it, really quick. That's the cover, and then the first page. And just look at that. I just absolutely love it. I think it's lovely. You can actually download this and print the whole pages. And then where the solid pink parts are in the little frames, you can just cut it out with a craft knife and add your photos. So you don't even have to make the album to make the album. So there you go. So when I have time, I'll finish it with some sentiments to Kirsten. And there you go, all done. So make sure that you download it from iHeartStudio. There's a free version, and then there's the version that you can buy. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye bye.